Good morning, Blondie.
Good morning.
So we're just having breakfast and coffee, and then I'm going to go off for the last 4,000 feet and 10 miles, and then she's going to pick me up where I started. And yes, I'm carrying all my gear. Today is my birthday, and you know how I found out?
Happy birthday.
She forgot. All my other friends started messaging me, and I got one bar, and she's like, oh shit! Bye, Blondie. Have fun grading and playing with the little voles. And ignoring all your fans on YouTube.
So cute. Oh.
So basically today, rather than going downhill to the trailhead, I'm going to go uphill, hit Los Pinos, and then do like a 4,400 foot descent down to the original trailhead. Okay, so this is Blue Jay campground area. Kind of nice because you get up into the pines. The only downside is sometimes it can be loud and they don't have camp hosts. So I camped just on the far side of those towers there in the background. That's Elsinore Peak, night before last. Okay, 1,000 foot climb, time to get up on the ridge, get my peak, and then it's all downhill. So a couple of years ago, there was a really bad fire that burned over the top of Santiago, which is that peak off in the background. So unfortunately, this trail has been closed. The Pinos Ridge is open, but I used to go down Trabuco Trail there, and that used to be one of my favorite hikes to do, coming up to do Pinos, and not allowed to do that anymore. Supposedly they're going to open it at some point, but as you can see, the trail's in kind of rough shape. Even then, obviously, trail maintenance is kind of limited. And since this is a burn area, there is poodle dog bush. It's one of those things I hear people say a lot that, oh, poodle dog, that's even worse than poison oak. But in all the hikes I've done and led out here, never seen an issue with it for what it's worth. And I've waded through the middle of a bunch of it by accident. Actually, that would be Santiago Peak. Those are just little interim bumps. It's also known as Saddleback because it's a double peak hump. Behind it is Majesca, which is just a little bit lower. So I know this looks desolate, especially if you're used to like East Coast rainforest, but there were some really cool wooded areas down there. You can see the remains of the trees. And that's why that fire a couple of years ago was just heartbreaking, because it just killed everything. And some of my favorite hikes were actually down in this area. I think that's Jaeger Mesa right down there. And I used to do a loop that brings you out right about here, actually. And then we'd go up to Los Pinos and hike down the standard trail. I love this peak. Cool little hike. There's multiple ways up it. The cool way is closed right now. And there's just awesome views. So tomorrow, I'll be on the backside of that, really early in the morning. So I'm going to be heading down that way to get back to the San Juan Hot Spring Trail. But there is another ridge that actually goes out to RSM I've been wanting to do, called, I think it's Bell Ridge. That's looking down back towards Mount Pinos. Trail's a little slow going just because it gets really steep and rutted in areas. Interesting view of Old Sugarloaf. Looks way more dominant from this side. Okay, last little bit. Technically, I'm going to be passing through some private property to get back to the road. Okay. That was a bit rougher than I expected, but hey. So yeah, this is why people don't use this trailhead that much. And here we go, 50 or 60 miles later. So this was my first planned warm-up trip. Now I've got a couple of weeks to finish up the wilderness course, and the day after I finish that, I'm going to be heading down to Salton Sea to try the San Diego Trans-County Trail, possibly do the Santa Monica Backbone Trail if I have a little extra time, and then the big one before the bigger one is I'm going to be doing the Condor Trail after our paddling trip in April. And that'll just about get me up to CDT time at the end of June.